All right. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Welcome to my birthday. Yes, fun fact about this Monday is it's my birthday. So, I am going to do this little quick video. Well, we'll see how quick it is. I have a lot of ideas going on in my mind, so it's probably going to be about 20 minutes, but stick with me because I feel like this is really important. So, timing. I want to share some thoughts about timing. And I want to share this timing is not everything. A lot of people think timing is everything. And people will say, I'm a firm believer that timing is everything. The timing for, meeting the one, or the timing for starting a business, or the timing for my birth, for example, even, right? As my birthday, I'll use that. I was 2 weeks late. I did not want to come out on time. Why? Apparently, I wasn't ready. I don't really know. I don't know what was going through my brain as a baby inside of my mother's uterus. I have no idea what was happening there. But I was not on time. I will tell you, I was late. She was past her due date by 2 weeks. And then I put my poor mother, God bless her, through a 21-hour labor. So I was not ready for whatever reason it was. And this is actually what I wanted to talk to you all about today, and why I wanted to talk about timing not being everything. What I feel when I think about things and I look through my life and I go back over it, and I also hear from a lot of my clients, both my photography clients and my coaching clients. So, just a side note, because you may not know and be familiar with me, my name is Beth Brown. I am a Christian confidence coach, and I really focus in with people on forgiving themselves and others in my coaching practices, as well as mapping out their life plans and their healing emotionally, spiritually, and physically, because we are a three-part being. So we have to not just do mindset or physical life, we have to be healthy on all levels, because our health, our futures, everything is dependent on us being healthy emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So I'm also a professional photographer as well. And the things that I've heard most often for why people will hesitate on either booking me and booking a photo shoot with me, or booking a coaching program with me, being a one-to-one or a study group, I'm not ready. I'll get back to you. I'm not ready. I have someone who's been talking with me about booking a photo shoot for 2 years, and he keeps saying, I'll get back to you when I'm ready. Now, to my knowledge, he really hasn't been working with another photographer. To my knowledge, he really is genuinely not ready and has been getting ready for 2 years. I have someone else who, for about a year and a half, has been talking about working with me as a coach, but keeps saying, I'm not quite ready yet. Well, here's the problem. When are you going to be ready? And when are you going to start getting ready? And if you're having trouble being ready, then you might need someone to help you get ready. Because the thing is, and the reason why I'm saying timing is not everything, it's the being ready part that's everything, because the time could happen for you. And if you're not ready, you will miss it. You will miss your time. You will miss your opportunity. So, for example, you're telling me, whether it's like an emotional reason, or it's like something physically that you want to lose a little more weight or do something, right? So you're saying you're not ready for your photo shoot. Well, you could be missing out on opportunities to present yourself professionally, right? Because you don't have the visuals in place to market yourself. In terms of emotional and spiritual, and even physical health, right? If you are not ready when those opportunities come your way, you're going to not either recognize them because you're not going to be in a mental space, or the person or the people who might be wanting to be thinking or being okay. So God says that He orders our steps and He's numbered our days with specific tasks in mind. So let's talk about this marriage, right? This is like something that's very common among Christians. And they'll say, oh, it's my single season. I don't know where this single season came from. I don't know who made that up. Yes, we have seasons in life. But if you are not in a place where you can be recognized as, as a husband or as a wife, you meet the man or the woman who you're supposed to be with, but for whatever reason, you haven't gotten yourself in a healthy place emotionally, physically, and spiritually, you will be unrecognizable to that person. That person will not see you. You will actually miss your opportunity, even though the timing, it's come and gone, right? But you weren't ready. And so you missed that opportunity. Now, I do not want you to freak out or despair, because if you are not ready and you have not been getting ready, there's no time like the present to get ready, and all is not lost, because we can go to God, right? And we can say, God, I have not been doing my part. I have not been taking my spiritual care, my physical care, my emotional care. I haven't been really being responsible with becoming the woman or the man that, I'm meant to be becoming, right? I haven't been taking that time. So I'm sorry, and I am going to start doing that, and I need you to help me to start getting ready. And I ask you to restore to me the opportunities that I missed out on. And God will. He does provide recompense, and He will bring opportunities and things back around to us, and sometimes even in a greater portion, right? So I don't want you to think all is lost. This is not all is lost and you missed your time and you missed your season or whatever because you weren't ready. So here's I want to go into 2 reasons why a lot of times we are not ready and we are missing out on opportunities even when the timing is right. And so if these are 2 common things that a lot of people, myself included, but a lot of people have also shared with me about that they struggle with, and they can hold us back from, being in the right place in the right time, so to speak. So, are you ready? Are you ready for the 2 things that are most common that I have found in listening to other people, as well as also with myself, that keep us from being ready in the right time? All right. So I paused for you to get ready. So one is perfectionism. Now, this is something that a lot of us struggle with for all sorts of different reasons, but a lot of us really feel that it's important to be perfect. And a lot of times, people, we don't even realize it. You may not even realize your self talk, but your self talk could be like, why did I do that? Why didn't I do that better? Your value, your worth, depending on how you were raised, and getting an award system, you're awarded from your parent, or you're awarded from your teachers at school when you get a 100, or when you get things perfect. Oh, look, Junior, you cleaned your room perfectly. You get like an extra treat for dessert tonight at dinner. Whatever it is, like there may have been like some sort of rewards based system, either that you were raised in as a child in the home, or in school, or even comparison. oh, why aren't you doing what this person is doing? Why can't you be more like your brother or sister? Oh, look, your friend over here did that. Why can't you do that too? Right? So comparison, being compared by our parents or by our teachers or even our own self comparison, right? We're comparing ourselves to what other people are doing. These things can bring in this idea that we have to be perfect. Our hair has to be perfect, right? You have to have like the perfect hair texture, the perfect hair length, the perfect for women, right? And for men, you have to have the perfect body shape, the perfect like hip to waist ratio, the perfect bust size, the perfect this. The man has to be the perfect height, the perfect number that you hit in your salary. Whatever it is, nothing is perfect. We are never going to be perfect. And so how to heal, how do we begin to release being a perfectionist? Because what happens is when we expect ourselves to be perfect and we start having self-talk to ourselves, here's what happens. We also expect perfectionism from the other person. I didn't realize I was doing this. I would have said to you, if you said to me, oh, Beth, because you're a perfectionist, you're also expecting perfection from other people. And if you had told me that 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said, you are wrong. No, I don't expect others to be perfect. But what I started realizing when I started healing and becoming okay with my imperfections, becoming okay with my past, being able to forgive myself for my mistakes, um, being able to forgive myself even for my own physical flaws or as an artist, not always having the perfect photo. Um, when I began to heal myself and God began leading me through the steps and showing me that there is nothing wrong with me, just like there's nothing wrong with you. It's okay if you're quiet, it's okay if you're loud. It's okay if you're tall. It's okay if you're skinny. It's okay. Listen, I'm thin, right? And it hasn't happened in a long time, but I've had people walk past me on the street and be like, oh, you're so skinny. People like strangers, you're so skinny, eat something. Right. So when you hear this for a long time, you're like, oh, maybe there's something wrong with my body. And I did just eat something like 3 minutes ago. So what do you want from me, right? But there's all these things and we start absorbing them whether we realize them or not. And I had to start breaking myself because I realized that these things that I was taking in on myself, I was also putting out on other people. I was also expecting other people without realizing it to do things perfectly, right? You want like the perfect job or you want the perfect uh event or you want the perfect birthday party or you want the perfect husband or the perfect wife. No one is perfect. There is some people are in alignment and some people are not in alignment, right? There is right some things that go smoothly and some things that are for whatever reason really choppy, but it's never going to go perfectly and it's okay. So if this is something you're struggling with for how to forgive yourself for not being perfect, what you want to do is you want to start releasing that need and you want to start healing. And I now consider myself a recovering perfectionist. I still get it. It still happens, right? It definitely still happens to me. I did like small things that I realized and made small changes in my life to start overcoming the need to have everything around me perfect. So I remember one time someone helped me to hang up, actually, it's not the photo behind me, but it was a different photo on my wall. Someone helped me hang a photo up on my living room wall. And it was a little bit crooked. And the perfectionist in me was like, I want to go behind him and straighten it and make it perfect. And then I was also feeling This is when God started pointing out to me that my perfectionism was, I was actually putting it on other people, because I also felt a little bit annoyed with him. I was like, how did he not see that that picture is a little bit crooked? Why didn't he do that and help me out better? Oh, when God pointed out to me and showed me, and I caught myself thinking that about someone who had helped me, I said, "Oh, I am wrong. I am so wrong. Like all the pressure I'm putting on myself, I'm also putting, without even wanting to or meaning or realizing I'm doing it, onto other people." And this, I'm sure, would affect me if I went into a marriage. Imagine if my husband did nothing perfect. Oh, wait, he's going to. My future husband is going to do nothing perfect. But imagine if I started expecting that from him, everything perfect. The marriage will never work. So I could meet my husband at the right time. The timing could be absolutely perfect. You could meet the perfect partner for you, the partner that God has for you, the husband or the wife God has for you. But if you are still expecting perfectionism from yourself and you start putting that perfectionistic expectation on your partner, guess what? You're going to ruin your own God given marriage. So it's not about being perfect. It's not about the timing. What it is about is getting ready, the healing that you and I have to do, that we all have to do, so that when the timing does come, and that time is now, right? We're ready for it. Right? If I'm in a perfectionist state of mind, I'm not ready. And so I'm going to even mess up things that are in the right time. You follow? I'm repeating myself a little bit because this was something that it did take me a little bit of time to realize. And going back to the picture being crooked, when I realized what I was doing, I said, you know what? This is training for me. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to complain. So I bit my tongue, literally. And I was like, don't complain. He did his best and he helped you, and he didn't even have to help you. And he helped me do something without me even asking for it. Wow, that was really bold of me to want to complain, right? But how many times do we do that because emotionally we haven't healed? We haven't taken the time to get ready on an emotional and spiritual level for what we are supposed to have, what is meant for us. And so that's what we have to do. And that's what I help in one aspect of my coaching, especially on the forgiveness angle, is working with people on their self-forgiveness so that they can also be very gracious and loving and patient to those other people who they are in a relationship with, whether it is their spouse or it is a child or it is their parent or it's their coworker or their clients, whoever it is, right? So going back to my picture, I left it. I decided not only was I going to not say anything to this person who'd helped me out, I was going to leave it. You know what? What he did for me was meant in kindness, and it came from a good space. And who am I to perfect it? That photo was crooked on my wall for about 2 years, maybe even 3. I left it. And every day that I walked past it, it was a reminder to me about how my perfectionism was causing me to be ungrateful to other people. It was my perfectionism was getting in the way of me being thankful when someone helped me out. It was deep for me. And if you are a perfectionist, it's going to be deeper for you than you realize. And so you have to, it's very, very important important. It is vital. It is a non-negotiable that you work through that you get ready to receive the things that are for you, and you're ready and in time for what's yours, for what God has in store and wants to bless you with, so that you don't destroy it trying to make it perfect and putting your fingerprints all over and trying to rearrange it, so to speak, right? We have to have peace within ourselves as how we are and who we are. We did the best. He did his best, right? I do my best. You do your best. And that's your best. And your best is progress. It's not perfection. And that's what we want to aim for. And as a confidence coach, that is something that I can help you to work through. And I teach those steps and provide tools to my clients for how to overcome that perfectionism and give you yourself grace, so that you can give yourself grace and you can give other people grace. And that will bring peace into your life, peace with yourself, peace in your relationships. All right. So perfectionism is something that we need to eliminate in our lives in order to be able to be in a position to receive our blessings from God. All right, because otherwise we could prolong our seasons, and seasons that God never meant us to be prolonging. The second thing is cutoff game. It kind of goes with perfectionism. I was looking at my notes. That's what I was reading. I'd written my notes because I said I have a lot of things going through my brain right now that I want to share on today's Monday Motivational Live. And so I wrote them down just in case. So yes, cutoff game is the other thing. It gets in our way. Okay? Cutoff game and boundaries and expectations are not all the same thing. Sometimes there are people who really do need to be cut out of our lives. Sometimes there are instances, but it's not really the way to go, because when we get into a habit of cutting people out of our lives, one, we can cut people out of our lives. We don't want to burn bridges. So we can cut people out of our lives who are not meant to be cut out of our lives. Maybe things are not working out in the relationship that we thought they would work out in. It could be a romantic relationship, or it could be a business relationship, or it could be a friendship. Maybe it's just not going the way you want it to go. And so you're like, I don't want this person in my life anymore. They're on my nerves. They irritate me. They annoy me. But we don't know that 2 years down the road, that person could be our connection to a opportunity. That person could be somehow the connector for us meeting our spouse. That person could become the connector somehow for us meeting a new client who takes our business up from 6 figures to 7 figures, right? When we just cut people out of our lives, we are potentially cutting out opportunities professionally and personally, future opportunities. Boundaries are one thing. Cutoff game is another thing. Also, when we're in the habit of always cutting people off, what's going to happen when you get into a relationship that requires some sort of struggle? There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be hard feelings. But that relationship is supposed to be. You can't just get into the habit of cutting people out, right? Business partnerships, for example. You do want to be careful with who you align yourselves with. Of course, you want to use discernment. You want to pray about, who is this person a good fit for me to partner with in this business endeavor? But there has never been a time when I have worked with someone to plan an event, for example, that event has gone smoothly. Never once has that event gone smoothly. And every time there is a challenge. Now, what if every time there was a challenge in me getting ready to host an event with the people that I am working with, and now I get annoyed and I just start cutting people off? Well, guess what? I'm not going to have an event. I'm going to actually ruin. I'm actually doing a form of self sabotage. What happens if I am so used to every time someone annoys me or gets on my nerves, I cut them out of my life? Now I get into a marriage. Am I just going to cut off my husband every time he irritates me? You get married, are you going to cut off your spouse every time they irritate you? Could be why the divorce rate is so high, because we're expecting perfectionism from ourselves. We're expecting perfectionism from other people. Now, I'm not talking about abuse. Obviously, no one should be signing up for abuse and sticking out with abuse. This is not, I'm not talking about that type of perfectionism. All right. Someone lays hands on you, right? That's it. You don't get to come in my personal space again. You are going to go there and stay there permanently, right? You're not coming in my space and laying hands on me or whatever it is. But, or, verbal, emotional abuse, right? So I'm not talking about instances of abuse, but I'm just talking about someone just gets on your nerves. And you know what I mean when I say get on your nerve. Yes, we can always take a time out. We can take a break. We can say, you know what? This conversation is upsetting me a little bit. I need an hour. Give me an hour. I'm going to go away for an hour, relax, and let's regroup in an hour, right? But to just always be cutting people out of our lives, it becomes a habit. And then we just end up having all these fractured relationships all over the place. And in fact, these relationships are most likely some sort of God-given opportunity, right? In some sort of professional or personal way. So we want to be really careful and mindful of just, are we cutting people off or are we establishing boundaries? Okay. And this is something that can be really tricky to do. And how do you set it up? And how do you determine what boundaries to set? And how does all of that work? And how does all of that look? Which is another thing that I do as a confidence coach. And is also very important in terms of forgiving, because some people, they hurt us and we're tempted to just cut them out of our lives, right? But sometimes the relationship is meant to be reconciled. Sometimes the relationship is meant to be permanently terminated, but sometimes it is meant to be reconciled. But reconciliation doesn't mean like you just go back to the same old, welcome back to my world, let's have a free-for-all. No. So how do you put and establish those boundaries? That's something that in my forgiveness coaching and my confidence coaching, I help people do, so that it's like a healthy way to like establish, maintain, and have that safety, emotional safety and spiritual safety and physical safety that we require, and all of us require in our relationships, without just here, there, and everywhere cutting people off. All right. So these two things are things that people tend to do. And as a result of perfectionism, and as a result of this cutoff game situation happening that so many people, talk about, it's keeping us from getting ready and being ready to receive things that are meant for us in the right time. So I made a video over the weekend that said, stop saying I'm not ready and instead start saying I'm getting ready. So that's what I want for you today. That's why I'm making this video today, to share a little bit more on that thought. And so let's stop saying I'm not ready. Let's literally start getting ready for the things that we want to see happen in our lives, right? The things that we want to see happen in our lives personally and professionally, in our relationships, whether there be personal or professional relationships. And let's start getting ready so that when the time does happen for you, when the timing is right? When it is your season, you don't miss it. But when you're ready, when you're emotionally, spiritually, physically healthy and ready, those opportunities will recognize you, and you will recognize those opportunities, because also when you're not ready, the opportunity might recognize you, but you might not see that as an opportunity. You might be like, that's not for me because I am this, I am that, I am the next thing, not realizing that if you had taken time to get yourself emotionally, spiritually, and physically healthy, you would be ready. If you are someone, for example, who says, I want to be a parent, are you ready for a child? What's your physical fitness levels like? Are you physically fit? Do you actually have the physical stamina to be able to keep up with a child? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be like, I want to have a baby if you're a woman, and then not be physically fit in order to like go through the labor to push the baby out, or to actually, once the baby's here, run around behind them, right? You have to be ready, whatever it is, right? You have to be ready. So it's really not so much about the timing, it's about being ready for the time. And you don't want to assume that the time is going to be at some unknown date. We always want to just assume that the time is now, because that gives us the motivation, the kick in the butt, to know that I need to be getting ready now. I can't be getting ready next week. I can't be getting ready for a photo shoot for 2 years. I can't be getting ready to work with Beth as a confidence coach for a year and a half. What are you doing, sir? What are you doing, ma'am? How is this helping you? It's not. When are you going to be ready to get ready? Well, there's no time. None of us have time except this moment in time. So the time is now to start getting ready. Yes, urgency. You really need to start feeling urgent about this, right? You have to have everything on deck so that when something presents itself, the opportunity presents itself, you can say, here I am, and here's my offerings, okay? Whether those offerings are, you know, your emotional openness and availability, or, you know, like the professional visuals of your photos, or your business plan, or whatever it is that you need in order to be able to have that opportunity that presents itself to you taken by you and not taken by someone else. So that is what I wanted to share with you. It's not so much about the timing, it's more about getting ready and being ready. So let's go. All right. Be sure, I'm going to put a link in the comments below this video. So be sure to click the link. That link will take you to scheduling a time with me where we can chat and we can begin mapping out a plan for you so that you can get ready and not miss your time. All right. We don't want any more missed out time. I don't want to hear any more, I'm not ready. I don't want to hear that from myself either, right? That's why we all have, you know, mentors, we all have friends, we all have people who have to help us get ready. When I was born, right? You know what happened because I wasn't ready? It was not good. My mom had to get help. The doctor pulled me out with forceps, right? So, you know, I needed a little push. I needed a little pull. My mom was pushing and he was pulling. I think I was there, but I don't remember it. So that's what, as a coach and as a mentor, because I kind of do the coaching and the teaching and the mentoring, you know, and I can share exactly how I go about doing that with you, you know, making sure that you get your things that you want to accomplish, getting them accomplished, right? So you might need a little pulling, you might need a little pushing. We all do, and that's okay. And so let's go. I'm here to help you to get ready. So click the link below. Make sure you book a free 30-minute call with me so that we can map this out and make sure that you and I are a good fit to work together and I can really help you get where you're looking to go. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will chat again with you soon. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Click the button subscribe above as well so that you can be up to date on the videos that I'm going to be dropping I'm going to be dropping some more daily videos for the next couple of weeks. All right. So peace.